This time I invite you to listen carefully as Pastor Evans brings you today's message.
Last Wednesday we had a very wonderful presentation by our brother Curtis. So when we meet again, I'll ask him to give us another presentation because he did well, quite well. I'm pleased. But then also I would look forward for our women's leader and those of us who go out to places to come and give a presentation too. We have the materials. Of course, we just give out copies to those who were here, and we get copies to those who need to talk, but you will have to book what to prepare, and then you have to give it out, we'll listen. If there's something we need to tell you to improve, we will. But we want our ladies to be very good at presenting too. I think that we have a wonderful presenter, our brother Curtis. Now, I don't have to look at me because I'm on the field a long time, but I want to see others come on here. And be good, so that whenever you go anywhere, and you have to, and you represent the association, you represent Monaghan Baptist Church, you can stand up with a confidence and speak well. Today, we are looking at from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15. Verses 11 through 24. And this story is familiar to most of us because it is the story of the prodigal son. A story that most of us heard numerous times and explained in various ways. But 11 through 24, we read some verses here. Luke 15, from 11 through 24. The scriptures say, and he said, a certain man had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey to a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living. And when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he sent him into the fields to feed swine. And he would fain have filled his belly with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. And when he came to himself, he said, How many hired servants of my father have bread enough and to spare, and I perish with hunger? I will arise and go to my father, and I will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee. I am no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me as one of thy hired servants. And he arose and came to his fathers. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion, and ran and fell on his neck and kissed him. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight. I am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said unto his servant, Bring forth the best robe, put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. Bring thither the fatted calf and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to be merry. And I'll stop at that point. One of the great questions that bother a lot of us, why does a lot of us godly parents have rebellious children? If you and I knew the answer, that would be a blessing. But the fact is, a lot of us don't know the answer. And if you check through the length and breadth of our life, you meet a lot of people who are deeply religious, and you find from their household children who are just rebellious. But the Bible shows us that these are not things just happening. We look back in Old Testament times and remember Eli. Eli was a high priest. And while Eli administrated the house of God and taught people the things of God, yet his very sons were doing differently. And as a matter of rebuke, God had to rebuke Eli for the things that is true and good. You look back in the life of King David, a man after God's own heart. And while he was loved and he was a great king in many ways, in his own household, one of his sons almost killed him because he had to run. His son would have killed him if he got hold on him. There's incest in his family. And you look at the things that happen. Again, godly people. You look at today, similar. It is very uncommon sometimes to hear some young people stand before their fathers and mothers, and especially their mothers, because some fathers who have the patience to take a child stand before them and talk too much, especially talks. You see, the fathers may knock you away and have to be locked up. The mothers may more tolerate. Be patient to hear you give out all you have to give out. And there are some children who stand up boldly and say, you never do nothing for me. And make tears come to their mother's eye. Hurt their hearts. Sometimes the tears the father and all feel might not show it, but in his heart is bleeding. Because they keep asking, where have I gone wrong? None of us are on perfect as parents. I don't know any perfect parents. So a lot of us ask the question, where have I gone wrong? To watch a son and watch a daughter in the family just rebellious as it could be. And not only having the rebellious ways, but they are filled with the language of profanity. And when they speak to us, they lack the respect, and they get on as though they own the house, they own everything, and they have nothing. When people come into churches and pray, you can never know the pain some people feel. Whether Mother's Day, Father's Day, Uncle Day, whatever day, they feel pain. Let me get my right. So, when you understand these things, you learn to be patient with people, especially if they have experience. You learn to have understanding. So for those of us with more experience, we can weep with those who weep. But we can smile with those who smile. And behind the scenes, we pray for people in their own household. Because it's tough. It is tough. I listened to a minister from Angola. He said his son, one of his sons, became rather rebellious. And he said when he couldn't take it anymore, he told that young man, get out of my house. I don't want to see you again. He said he had come to the wits. He just didn't want to get himself in trouble. The young man left with pride. I got up there, I don't care about this and I don't care about that. And he left. But you know, there are days. A week carries 7. A month may carry 28. And even a 31. So you know, time tells another story. The months went by. He didn't see him. He thought about him every night because he was missing in the house. His wife was grieving over her son. No contact. He said months passed. One day, he said he saw a dirty looking young boy on the street. Here he is coming with his big car. I don't recognize it his son. He stopped his car. He told the boy, come in the car. He said when he looked at his son, the boy dirty from head to foot. The boy is thin, as though he hadn't a meal for a long time. But that was his son, the same rebellious one, who was home making all loud pronouncements. He said, let's go. He said when he got home, check a bath. Beautiful houses he has. Let him take a bath. Get him food to eat. And when he was finished eating, that boy went to sleep. As though he hadn't slept in a long time. I tell you that, people, it is easy for us to tell people when their children give in trouble, put them out. It is easy for us to tell people when they have problems, don't care about them. How could you tell somebody don't care about somebody they love? It's hard, you know. Some children don't understand the love of a parent for a child. We agree that there are many parents who abandon their children. That's life. But there are those who genuinely love their children. They live for them. After God, they are their children. And to see these little children turn like little beasts and treat them as though nobody, it hurts their heart. But you know something? There's always pride. The feeling that, here I am. But my Bible reminds me, pride goeth before fall. And many who leave with their head high and get on as though you're nobody, they come back at it low. Because in this story that you read today, the young man was in a good home. Nobody put him out. But you know what he said? Give me what is mine. And once he got it, moved out. One of the things you'll discover, there's always somebody out there to entice your children and my children, our children. You teaching them all the good things, and these devils teaching them all the bad things. And somehow they understand them easier than they understand us. You ask yourself, well, how is that? I set good example, the best I could before you. I gave you the best.